Hi friends, welcome to my channel. It was very long time ago I had a Sweden related content, so I thought that it was time. So today I'm gonna talk about 4 very famous stockbrokers in Sweden. These are Avanza, Nordnet, Savr and Aktie-invest. But before I start talking about these platforms, I think it's necessary to mention and to cover what kind of accounts we have in Sweden for investments, for when buying stocks, funds, ETFs, options, other financial instruments, you name it. And a little side note, keep in mind that I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a tax advisor. I do not recommend any particular stocks or funds to buy. This is just a general information for your knowledge. If you want to learn a little bit more and deeper, of course, Google is your friend. We have 3 main big accounts that we use for investments. These are Investeringssparkonto, short ISK, Kapitalförsäkring, shortly KF, and Aktie- and fondkonto, shortly AF. Not that AF that you were thinking about. So let me talk about each of these accounts more deeply. Investeringssparkonto, which literally from Swedish is translated as investment savings account, and shortly we call it ISK. It is one of the most popular savings accounts, or if not the most popular. I think the reason why people in Sweden decide to use this account for buying stocks, funds, ETF and other financial instruments is because you do not have to declare your taxes yourself, but the bank does that for you, which I think is really nice because particularly for me and for many millions of Swedish people, it saves a lot of headache, and I think it's really nice. When it comes to taxation using ISK, you don't pay taxes on your gains, but rather taxes are deducted throughout the year, continuously throughout the year, on all the investments that you have in your ISK. And the tax rate is usually standard rate. In Swedish it's called schablonskatt. Since the taxation of ISK is happening throughout the year, you are taxed even if you make losses. So if you sell your stocks or funds or whatever you sell from your ISK with losses, you still pay taxes because it's happening throughout the year. And important fact to know, the losses are not tax deductible in the tax declaration. Another important fact about ISK is that if you, for example, buy your stocks in this account, you are the legal owner of this stocks, and you have the voting rights. The next type of account is Kapitalförsäkring, which literally translates as capital insurance account, or as we call it in Swedish, KF shortly. Same as with ISK, you don't have to declare your taxes yourself, but rather the bank does it for you, which of course makes your life a little bit easier. However, the difference between KF and ISK is, for example, if you buy stocks in KF, you are not the legal owner of these stocks, but rather it's the insurance company. And that of course means that you don't have the voting rights in the annual shareholder meeting. If you buy foreign stocks, the stocks that gives you dividends, the bank helps you, at least Avanza and Nordnet, helps you to get back källskatt. It's a tax that you pay when you get dividends from your foreign stock. So for example, if you own, let's say, American stock like Apple, you get dividend, and when you get dividend you pay tax to the US. Avanza or Nordnet, they help you to get back this källskatt, this tax back. It doesn't happen immediately, but it takes maybe like 1-2 years, but still they help you to do that. Otherwise, in other account that I'm gonna talk about now, you will have to do it yourself. The next and last type of account is Aktie- and fondkonto, and it literally translates as stock and fund account, and shortly in Swedish we call it AF. The biggest difference between Aktie and fondkonto and the other two previous accounts that I just talked about is of course the fact that you have to do all the tax declaration yourself. I'm gonna put a screenshot on the screen for you to see all the differences between Aktie, fondkonto, Kapitalförsäkring and Investeringssparkonto, so you can pause this video, do a screenshot or whatever you want to do, so you can see the differences between all these accounts. Now when we've familiarized ourselves with the types of investment accounts that we have in Sweden, let's talk about the most popular stockbrokers that we have in Sweden. Two of them I'm using myself, and let's start with Avanza. Avanza is a very popular stockbroker here in Sweden. They identify themselves and how they write themselves on the internet is that they are an online bank that started in 2001. Today, or per November 2023, almost 2 million people in Sweden use this stockbroker. They allow you to invest up to 50,000 kronor without any brokerage fee. They also have a savings account with 3.80 interest. They can give you mortgage, and of course you can save your pension in Avanza. Personally, I haven't used the pension help, but I have a friend who told me that she had her pension like in different parts of insurance companies everywhere, and she decided to move everything to Avanza, and according to her experience it was very easy. Now she sees all her pension in one place. By the way, pension in Sweden, I think it is quite straightforward, but at the same time not. So I'm still learning, and I'm also thinking maybe I should move all my pension like to one place so I see what I have from what place. In Avanza, you have all these three investment accounts, ISK, KF and AF, and they also have children account, something like that. This children account, it's actually Kapitalförsäkring account, but it's just called Kapitalförsäkring, or like I don't remember the name of it. So Avanza gives you the possibility to buy stocks from Swedish stock market, from foreign stock exchanges. They also, I think, allow you to buy ETFs. I know that for some people it can be very interesting to buy ETF. From my experience, I think in Sweden ETFs are not that big. Like people buy ETFs, but it's not like a big, tradition to buy ETFs. Rather, from my understanding, and of course I don't have any statistics, I'm just saying from what I see, hear and read, is that in Sweden people are more into saving into mutual funds, how do you pronounce it? Mutual funds rather than ETFs, but of course there are people who invest in ETFs as well. In order to use Avanza, and for that matter any other investment platform, stockbroker platforms that I'm gonna talk about today, you have to have Swedish personal number, and of course you have to have bank ID. In one of my videos a couple of years ago, I talked about very important apps in Sweden that you have to know about. I will link this video here, or here instead, and you will see I talked about bank ID, mobile bank ID. It's very important, and without that you can't basically exist in Sweden. Yeah, you have to have a mobile bank ID in order to identify yourself. When you open Avanza or any other platforms for the first time, you have to give some basic information and important information about yourself. Something like where do you live, are you Swedish citizen, are you citizen of US, or are you citizen of any other country, how do you get the money that you are going to invest, is it your salary, pension, stuff like that. For what purposes you are planning to save the money and invest money, and how often are you gonna do that, how often are you gonna withdraw this money. So you have to answer all these questions. These questions are unfortunately in Swedish, and from my believe, like I think that all these platforms are in Swedish, but you have Google, you can get help maybe from your Swedish friends or just Google Translate. I think it's pretty straightforward, and I would guess that in many other countries you get the same kind of questions in all banks. Now let's talk about Avanza's biggest competitor. Its name is Nordnet, and I think there is always this discussion: is it Nordnet, is it Avanza, what is better? To be honest, it doesn't matter. Let me give you some basic information about Nordnet before I start comparing them. So Nordnet is the first online bank in Sweden. It opened in 1996. Per December 2023, they have 1,862,900 users. And exactly as Avanza, they also give you the possibility to have a savings account. However, it's only 3.6% interest rather than 3.8% as in Avanza. They also give you mortgage. They also allow you to move pension there. The difference between Avanza and Nordnet here is, for example, that Nordnet is available in Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Denmark. And of course, in this case, they are available in these languages: Swedish, Norwegian, Danish, and Finnish. Now, when we have basic information about Nordnet and Avanza, like there is always this discussion: is Avanza better? Is Nordnet better? To be honest, if you are a super beginner that you never invested, it doesn't really matter. From my own experience, I think Avanza's app is just a little bit better. There are a little bit more features. There are just a little bit small things that make your user experience of this app just a tiny little bit better. For Nordnet, I really don't think that their app is bad. It's not really bad. It has everything that it needs. It has the same features as Avanza, just maybe some of them are missing, but it doesn't really affect your investment. You can still send the money to these online banks through Swish or through your bank account. Now this comparison is a little bit like chaotic, but yeah, I mean, Nordnet, it exists in the rest of the Scandinavia or in the rest of the Nordics. And I think there are a little bit more ETFs there. I think that you have a little bit more exposure to Asia and to some stocks and funds that you have in Asia. Like, it's just, like, to be honest, I think most of these users that I have told you, like almost 2 million in Nordnet and almost 2 million in Avanza, I bet that most of them are the same people. I'm the same. I use both Nordnet and Avanza because sometimes some things are not available in Avanza, then I buy them in Nordnet, and the same way around. It doesn't really matter. Just start. If you want to have smoother experience, start with Avanza. If you want to have access to more, like, to a bigger amount of stocks and funds and everything, and you want to have more ETFs, start with Nordnet or start with both. Now, when you have listened to my rant how it doesn't really matter if you start Avanza or Nordnet, I will give you the third platform that you can think about if you want to invest. And this platform is Aktieinvest. Aktieinvest was the first platform in Sweden, at least according to my research for this video. It is the first investment platform in Sweden. It has existed for more than 50 years, and up to date it has approximately 60,000 users. I personally have never used Aktieinvest because I already have Avanza and I have already Nordnet. Why should I think about Aktieinvest? I just thought that it would be too much to have control over too many apps, too many places. And the reason for this is because I didn't know some of the features, some of the great features that Aktieinvest has. So a couple of weeks ago, I met a person who worked at Aktieinvest, And this person told me, Leila, did you know that Aktie-invest allows you to buy fractional stocks? And I was like, excuse me, what? For some reason, their marketing team is not pushing good enough, like not at all. It is not visible in any of their ads, like anywhere, nowhere. You will not see. You will see it only if you go to their website and read like about them, about their platform. Aktie-invest allows you to buy fractional stocks, and they also have the possibility to get your dividends reinvested automatically. How great is that? And I think it's a really great feature that, as I said again, like for some reason their marketing team is not very vocal about, is the fact that you can buy stocks fractionally. So in Avanza and Nordnet, if you want to buy stocks, you need to buy them as a whole. So let's say if you want to buy an Apple stock, that today when I'm recording it, I'm recording on 23rd of May, it costs $190.90 US. And if you are an average person with an average salary, you probably don't have possibility to buy or to put like $190, almost $200 into one stock of Apple. By the way, this is not a recommendation, this is just an example. What Aktie-invest allows you to do is to buy this stock fractionally. Or let's say you want to buy the Louis Vuitton stock that is today $750.80. In Swedish krona, it's like 8,000 kronor approximately. This is a lot. I think an average person like gemene man, Svensson, they don't have this much money to invest like into one stock. But with Aktie-invest, you have the possibility to buy the stock fractionally. Of course, there are terms and conditions that follow and you have to read about them, but just for your information that this is possible. Today, I'm not using Aktie-invest because, as I said, I didn't know about this feature until one of my acquaintances told me about this. But in the future, if I want to buy something that is very, very expensive and I know that I cannot afford it to buy like one at a time, then I know that I will go to Aktie-invest. The last platform that I want to talk about today is Savr or Savr. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it correctly. It was started in 2016 and it's a platform for investing into mutual funds. At least for now, for today, I read on their website that quite soon, it's not stated when, you will be able to buy even stocks there as well. But right now, today, it's a platform for buying mutual funds. And one would ask, why would you go to Savr to buy mutual funds when you can buy them in Avanza or Nordnet? And the reason is because it costs much cheaper to buy mutual funds in Savr rather than in Avanza or Nordnet. And because of this feature, in 2016, they were considered like disruptors on the market. That wow, this is such a platform where you can buy mutual funds for much cheaper. Let's say if you want to buy, like right now, if I look at Avanza and at Nordnet, if you want to buy Swedbank Robot Technology fund, in Avanza the fee will be 1.33. Meanwhile, in Savr, it will cost you only 1.05. And of course, these fees, like it feels like this is just a small difference, but long term, these small fees will accumulate into a very big sum. So of course, it's a good platform if you want to buy just funds and to not pay that much fees. Personally, today I'm not using this platform. I have my funds, all my funds in Avanza and Nordnet. That's probably really bad because I'm losing quite a lot of money long term, but I'm just lazy. And I think like having Avanza and then Nordnet and then Savr, it's too much. But definitely it's something that I need to take in my hands and change. So these are the 4 platforms that I wanted to talk about today. And please keep in mind, this is not like the end of the platforms. There are many more platforms that exist in Sweden. There is also, for example, Aktie, there is Lysa. I just chose for this video something that I think it's very popular in Sweden. But if you want me to do a video about other investment platforms that we have in Sweden, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will be happy to do that. Thank you for your attention and see you next time.